Nathan, and this is
Shawn Alff, and I'm hanging with Nathan. This is Nathan. And you may be wondering why we're in aprons and Speedos. There's really no good reason for that, other than we just know what you like to see.
Yeah. We figure that we don't have tits today.
So we're trying to make up for that.
Yeah, we give you butts.
Butts and a little bit of side boob. Male side boob.
Not side boob.
Have you ever cooked in just an apron?
Yes. I've cooked fucking naked. Many times. So, your job today, though, sir, is actually going to be peeling this garlic. And guys, the reason we have Shawn on here, because we want to talk about heavy issues of today. You know, we want to talk about the things that I think everyone out there is wondering. Why, oh why, is porn dialogue so fucking bad?
Yeah, it's a pressing question, and I know a lot of politicians have been debating it recently.
Yeah,
and,
as they're talking about how they hate porn. But
there's been some protests out there about how bad porn dialogue is.
It's
something we need to get to the bottom of.
Yeah, it's really hitting all the heavy topics nowadays, guys.
So I guess
it's right up there with child pornography. It's just terrible business.
Yeah.
Not funny, guys.
So originally I started out in this industry as a writer, and I wrote scripts. And when I got in, I came from I have a master's in creative writing and undergraduate in writing. And whenever you get one of those degrees, you have all these big ideas of how great your writing is going to be. And everybody thinks their writing is going to be great until you sit down and actually write, and then you realize how terrible it is. So getting into porn, before I was on the production side of it, you're like, yeah, and then there's going to be a crowd of people in this shot, and then we're going to be on a highway in this shot. And you get on a porn set and you quickly realize we have no budget for any of those things. So that kind of explains a lot of common tropes that you see in porn. So the biggest thing is, how can we get a stranger into somebody's house for a sexual encounter in the fastest, most economic way possible with the least amount of dialogue? This is why you see plumbers. This is why you see pizza delivery boys, because it's, I'm a sexy woman at home, somebody shows up at the door, sex ensues. Does that make sense? So
you're actually explaining this way better than I've ever explained it.
Yeah, it's...
Someone went to college.
Terrible porn dialogue is a result of a lack of money and resources to make a bigger project. It's also why in porn scenes we can't really show a courtroom scene, because that would require renting out a set that looked like a court. It would require hiring a judge, hiring all of these other people, hiring a jury. All you really have is, like, you could have a lawyer and the defendant, so then you have those private conversations, you know, or the interrogation room. So everything is scaled down. So that's why so much of porn scenes don't feel like a real movie, because the production value is so much lower. But also, I mean, you probably hate, there are movies like features where you like to do the dialogue. You like to spend time on them because it's a bigger project. It's cool to show people. But for the most part, you're showing up to set and you get like 1 to 2 to 3 pages of dialogue that are just bullshit dialogue, that are just setting up this sexual scenario, and there's almost no reason for it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of mostly the bullshit dialogue we're talking about. And a lot of times the director wrote it that night while drunk in many cases, or that morning, or right before the scene, and put really no thought into it. And they're basically just trying to do, how do we get these people into the bed the quickest way possible?
Yeah.
And there are things that they have to hit along the way. There's also a lot of compliance issues. So because, you know, stepmom and stepdaughter porn is so big right now, depending what company you're shooting for, you have to explain, oh, this is my stepdaughter, but she's only been my stepdaughter for less than 3 years, and we what else? Oh, she's also over 18, and she's consenting. So you have to find a way to put all of those things into the script, and it always makes for terrible, like, but you're my stepdaughter, or but you're my
stepbro.
But I've only been married to your father for 2 years, and it's the simple reason is it has to do compliance.
We have to do that because of the Visa companies.
Yes.
Visa being the credit card companies. We have to use them to actually sell our shit.
Yeah. But also, I have this theory that most people, like, when you jack off, when you're watching stuff, do you watch the stories?
Sometimes. I think the more I've been in, like, know which one if I'm gonna watch something, like story-wise, I've watched Casting Couch more than for even one that I've almost gotten hired to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've watched that actually quite a bit.
Okay.
Because at some point I almost want to believe.
Yeah.
I almost want to it's like a scientist going to a magic show. They're going because they want to believe, you know? I've done this 1,000 times. I know this isn't real. I know exactly what they do at that particular company.
Right.
And I'm still like, maybe it's real.
Maybe it's real. Yeah. I think mine's the same with, I like glory hole porn, mostly because I like...
why don't you wait for ours soon?
Yeah, I know. I like the woman to lead the scene and to talk more, and I like women who are like more sexually aggressive, and that's kind of the role that they play in those scenes. But I feel like, so the way porn evolved is they had to have a certain amount of script per sex scene to be legally shown in theaters. So people were going to these theaters to watch porns, and they had to sit through the story. Nobody cared about the story, but they had to sit through it to get to the sex. And then we had softcore cable porn, and you had to create, like, again, a shitty story that nobody cared about, but there had to be enough story to justify these sex scenes. So now what we have is most people are watching their porn on, like, Pornhub. And my theory is that people really don't care about the setup as much, but they need those key things like stepmother, because this is what people are searching for, or stepdaughter, or whatever it is. So they like the setup, and they like the arrangement, the dynamic between a stepmother and her son. But I don't know that they necessarily care about the stupid dialogue leading up to that.
I would say yes and no, because I've heard that, like, the analytics to, like, let's say, Deeper. A lot of people watch that. Miss X. A lot of people fucking watch it. Which I fucking don't know why. But yeah, whatever.
I mean, I think there's a huge divide between, like, features and really well done scripted stuff, and then the 1 to 2 page dialogue into a scene.
That's pretty good right there, buddy.
But now I don't have a job anymore. I don't know what to do with my hands.
You can clean these off better. But...
I don't skin a lot of garlic, so yeah.
Sorry, you were saying.
But yeah, like the high-end scenes that you want to put a lot of effort into, and you want to write them well, and then the ones that are just throwaway, nobody cares as much. We just need to set up the character dynamic. Really, is what it is. So yeah, part of the huge reason for terrible porn dialogue is just a lack of time, lack of money, a lack of resources in terms of staging, the where you have to shoot. Also, a lot of the times, the dialogue, I've written shitty dialogue and I've written good dialogue. Good dialogue performed terribly sounds awful. Bad dialogue performed well can sound really, really good.
Yeah.
So that's a huge thing too. And not that, first of all, a lot of people get into porn, as you know, not to become actresses or actors.
What?
And they're really surprised how much memorization of lines and acting they have to do.
You know how many girls I've had, it's like, I didn't come into porn to do this. I'm like, yeah, girl,
Right.
But, you know, it's like, just be happy you're not at Starbucks.
Right. I think that's one of the huge myths about porn, though, is that it's all failed actresses and actors.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's stuntmen.
Yeah, right. I'm not sure I'd call myself a failed stuntman.
A working stuntman.
Yeah. Fun fact that I just learned about the other day. Apparently, if you take a clove of garlic and swipe a knife through it to get the juices on there, and then you cut someone, that hole will not stop bleeding.
You want to try? Is that what you're...
No. No.
We're going.
We have shit to do. I got time off. I'm fucking. Yeah, no, I find that is a huge issue in this business. Is not even an issue, but a lot of people don't. It's like they don't come into it. I didn't come in here to fucking do dialogue.
Yeah.
I didn't come in here thinking I was going to become a better reader.
Right, and so some people also, you got to keep in mind these people are getting the scripts the morning of a lot of times. Yeah. Their headspace is like, if it's a guy, he might be nervous about the scenes. We could give two shits about like memorizing the dialogue. And then also there's a matter of editing. Like you can make somebody look really good or really bad with editing.
Yeah.
Depending on how you cut it and when you cut it, and the takes that you use. So
I was trying to think of an actor who's really shitty, but Nicolas Cage.
It could be. There's some movies he's great. Some
he's so good in some movies, and he's so terrible in
some.
some.
Have you ever seen Leaving Las Vegas?
No, my lady just telling me about that. I need to go watch it.
So he won the Academy Award for this, and he plays a failed screenwriter. Well, he was not failed. He was a successful screenwriter who was an alcoholic who goes to Las Vegas to kill himself by drinking. And the whole movie, you can't tell, like, is he playing this over the top? Or is this genuinely how, like, this level of a screenwriter alcoholic would behave? It was, like, a really compelling performance, but I also didn't know if it was over the top or not. Like, it's still, to this day, I'm like, is this good or terrible?
It's like, do you remember Kick-Ass?
I haven't seen Kick-Ass, but I know of it.
I love Kick-Ass because I thought that was such a different role than I was used to seeing from him in a while. But I also love Con Air.
Con Air. Con Air is one of those blockbusters that's like, but in Con Air, his accent was so bad.
Oh, everything about it was horrible. I fucking love that movie.
His body was the best it has ever been.
Oh yeah,
in that movie.
So good.
But all the side actors were amazing.
Yeah, well, dude, that
Steve Buscemi,
Dave Chappelle.
Oh yeah, Dave Chappelle.
There were so many good actors in that.
Yeah.
Oh god. Well, anyway, let's see. Wait, heading back. All right. Well, my lady's gonna come right now. Sweet.
Is she gonna come hang with Nathan?
Well, she was here. She just was getting her neck tattooed. So let me pull up all the questions that we were asked about today. Ooh. So on the line of shitty porn, I think this is an even bigger one, and it makes me just happy to the gills. What are your top five worst porn names?
Oh, performer names?
No. Oh, let's do that too.
Well, that one's hard because you're throwing people under the bus.
That's fine. They're not gonna watch it. Okay, top five worst porn movie names.
You know, honestly, I would have to look at Google for that because I don't remember. I mean, most of them are just so mundane you forget them.
Yeah.
But that is actually another interesting point about porn names.
Let's hear
it. Porn titles are trying to sell the video. So you're trying to cram in as many niches as you can into these porn titles that perfectly encapsulate what you're going to see in it. Which is why it'll be like big-titted MILF nurses.
Yeah.
Which is dumb, but you know exactly what that movie is about.
That's what it sells on the pornhubs.
But you know what I have noticed? When anybody is making a joke about porn names, they always add the number after it. Have you noticed that? Oh yeah. Like when Volume 3.
When I always like to do is, I was an Evil MILFs 4. I got the DVD down there, but it's like, yeah, you gotta add the number because it makes it funnier.
Yeah, because the fact that there's 12 other versions of this.
Yeah, it's like, wow, you couldn't figure out what the rest of the movie was from the first and second one. We go, let's go for the rest.
Right. But no, I don't even know. Can you name? Maybe you've been in some of it.
Oh, what? Like the ones I remember.
Of terrible.
You know, they don't tell me much. I remember one day I was going to set, and they're like, the girl. It was what the fuck was it? It was bushes, it was braces, and it was a volleyball.
Okay.
So I think like brace face 5.
Oh, that's just mean.
Yeah, terrible.
Brace face 5 volleyball players.
What's up?
Oh hey.
Hi.
Welcome to hanging.
How weird that you showed up at my kitchen, not my house. Stop giggling like there's something to laugh about. We're having a serious show right now.
Yeah, this is very serious, obviously.
Jesus.
We came to eat and
pick up
play speedos.
I texted you, but you guys are
Pick up
places.
places.
My whole head, man.
Yeah, I know. No.
Oh my god, they're golden.
They were given to me.
So beautiful.
No more talking from you, woman.
Sorry.
I love you.
I feel like the ratings of this though might go up if she's involved.
That's true, but she gets to be on another episode like later today or tomorrow.
Ah, okay. You can't just hang with her all the time.
No, yeah.
Sometimes it's just guy time.
Yeah, it's just guy time. Sometimes you just need to hang out with the cock out.
So let's just talk about, terrible things our girlfriends do.
Oh yeah, I'm into that. Bitches, right? Am I right?
Gosh, those women
women
ruining our lives. They're just
there,
they smell so good all the time.
looking pretty, smelling nice.
I just want to be with them and
fucking
buy things for them.
Yay! What were we talking about?
Bad porn names.
Oh yeah, so like brace face
5. Always has to be 5.
The thing is, I'm pretty sure that's the one I can remember because that's the one I think I did.
Mm-hmm.
It really disgusts me knowing there's more. I'm not a brace fan.
So if you were in just brace face,
yeah,
you'd be like, oh, this is kind of a clever title.
No, not only am I in brace face, but I'm in the beginning of the series.
Yeah. We shot something the other day, and it was this line. I think it was for Zero Tolerance, and it was something like, "Daddy fucked me" or "Daddy cream pied me," something like that.
Yeah, got it.
And we had a guy who was in the original one, and there was like 30 versions of this. That one came out every year. Not 30, probably 20. One came out every year, and we booked him for the 20th anniversary of.
No, was that an accident or that?
No, that was like.
That was on purpose?
Well, he didn't know that. He came to set and he was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Like, I did the first one?
I don't think he wanted to tell him because it would have made him feel old.
Oh, shit.
But, I mean, honestly, if you've made 20 years of getting paid to have sex, I feel like that's an accomplishment.
Is it?
You're already getting bitter after
I've been bitter for a while.
Mm-hmm.
6.5, man. 6.5 years now.
Wow.
How long have you been doing it?
Well, it depends what you mean by doing it. Do you mean having sex on camera, or do you mean...
I think that's a recent thing, isn't it?
That is a very recent thing.
No, I mean, just been in the porn business.
So, I started writing... I was a sex and love writer, and I started in 2009. I was living in Tampa, and so I was covering, like, swinger parties, feature dancing, nudist resorts, burlesque, anything related to sex entertainment. But then I realized the more I wrote about porn, the more people clicked on my stories. So it just kind of led me down that way. And then I eventually realized I can make way more money just being on set than I can writing about being on set. So, yeah, 2009, man, I guess, what was that, 12, 13 years? Sort of in the industry.
Adjacent.
But yeah, adjacent. And then I'd probably say for the last 4 years I've been doing it full time, working on set.
And you started it, like, when you got into working on set, that was just, what, PA work, or?
Yeah, so originally I started working for Jackie St. James, and the reason I wanted to work for her specifically is she did story-driven porn.
Because she's dope.
Yeah, so when she needed somebody, I was like, this is perfect, because I knew it would give me a chance to start writing scripts, which I started doing immediately for her. And yeah, I started working PA behind the scenes, and then through her I started writing scripts for other people. And yeah, I took a lot in the beginning because I had less work. I took a lot of shitty writing gigs, and it would be writing like the throwaway stuff that nobody cares about, but eventually started doing more feature stuff that I'm more proud of.
The Grinders?
Like Grinders. Good plug. Which you made fun of one of my lines in that.
Which one?
Because you were talking about, you were like, you didn't know how to say this.
Oh yeah, totally made fun of. What was that? What was that?
It was
line?
something about squalor. We live in squalor.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck! How many still remember that line? It's like,
because you're
we
talking
live in
to
this
Lucky.
house of squalor. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm a skateboarder that sells drugs. Who the fuck says squalor?
See, I feel like some dirtbags know and use the word squalor, but you think of it as this like.
So I think of everything as in the sense of like the methy places that I've lived, and so it's like hearing squalor wasn't something I.
In Squalorville.
Yeah. Now that I am with a British woman, I there's a lot of words that I use now. I might use the word squalor. Yeah. Shameless plug.
For British people?
Yeah.
And squalor?
Shame for British people in their lack of thinking that they think, or sorry, not lack. They just think they're better than everyone. And so they like to use words that like makes you feel inadequate sometimes.
Yeah.
Plug, baby.
We are better than
Oh, what was that the other day, baby? Keep the conquering at home, or was it? What were you saying? No? What, manifest destiny? No, something like that. Anyway,
no. But what's interesting about Grinders and Dialogue, is I remember we had a viewing party at my house and we all watched it, and like a lot of the dialogue I didn't even remember writing because it was read so differently than I remember it. But what's funny is like there'll be some lines that I think are funny that because whatever reason they don't come off as funny, but then other lines because of the way the person reads them they do come off as funny.
Okay.
Which is always really interesting to see with your scripts because it's like I like that it takes on this life of its own, whereas some other people I think they get really micromanagey about like no you have to say it this way. Or,
like what people you talking about? Huh? You want to mention names?
I learned a long time ago when writing for porn. This is my very first script that I wrote, and we were reading the voiceover for it. Also, another insight about porn script writing: voiceovers keep the page length down, so you can explain a lot of story with voiceover that you don't have to show. Otherwise, you have to get like so many establishing shots to explain this backstory. Otherwise, voiceover in script writing is usually lazy, but in porn, it helps, especially if it's that throwaway dialogue where it's like, I'm 18 and we've known each other, all the consent stuff.
Yeah. My dad's been watching me for this long and I've just been watching him and I just turned 18 and I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to fuck a cock.
Right. So then we can just get right to the fucking.
Yeah.
But,
so that way we're all here.
Yeah, the first time she was reading the voiceover and
Go ahead.
I don't want to say that she didn't know how to read, but she didn't know how to read well.
Are you talking about the first time I did a voiceover for you?
Which is true, right?
Yeah.
Jackie gave you so much shit, and then it made you start reading more.
No, it's not that I started reading more as much as I just started, like, I've just got more scripts since then. But, like, I remember, I remember doing I think it was my first feature that was mine. And, no, cilantro. And Jackie had me doing some shit where she's like, okay, read this. And she's like, it just sounds like you're reading. And I'm like, Jackie, I really can't read that well. She's like, what? I'm reading it, and it's like this fucking massive monologue. And usually I can paraphrase or make something work, but it was a monologue about being a computer programmer. So there's a bunch of shit in there I just know nothing about. And so I'm like trying to remember these words. I can't say it naturally. I just felt like shit after that. Yeah. Thanks, Jackie.
But even, so interestingly enough, I was talking to a guy on Sex Panther, and he sent me this voice memo. And I was like, why does he sound like a radio announcer? He was like, hello, I would like to talk about this. And what I realized was he wrote it all down beforehand, and he was reading it to me. But, which is to say, he was reading it well, but people still, there's an art to learning how to read naturally.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And even I don't know if I can read naturally. I feel like I go into reading voice when I'm reading, so that's a whole talent unto itself.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I'm very happy that I've gotten better at. Let's see, partially read oh, that's right. But I still, if you like, I remember like at AVN I had to read from a teleprompter, and I was scared shitless, dude. Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna fuck up, and and so I memorize, but still, when you have words and my memorization, both those things are working against each other. So it's still fucking me up. This is why I don't do karaoke. Because even though I know the fucking song, it's just trying to read it and sing at the same time.
It's too much.
And then I shit myself, and then everything goes haywire.
And sometimes in karaoke, like, you heard a verse one way, and then you see it, and you're like, is that really what it fucking says? Yeah. And you have that aha moment while you're trying to do karaoke.
Yeah. I died.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Good. Mine's a lot of screaming and karaoke.
Yeah,
Like even songs that aren't meant to be screaming. I carry my karaoke with a lot of performance, a lot of hip thrusting.
Yeah, I just do a lot of metal screaming, whatever song it is, just... And then we're good. We're good for a long time.
And then they never call your name again to do karaoke.
Yeah, let's get this Nathan guy the fuck out of here. He's obviously drunk. Fooled them, I'm not. Alright. Wait, pull up the top 10 porno performers. Who they are just seeing one body. What?
You're reading again.
I know.
That felt natural.
Yeah. That's because I was confused. I should have read over this before I did this show. Was there ever a line in a porno? Let's start with one that you've written that made you laugh so hard that you actually were like fell out of your seat, or like in general, like just laugh so like out loud, not the LOL, but actually laugh.
I'm really bad at this, and I am guilty of asking these questions too. But my memory is so bad that I remember big picture stuff, but I don't remember like little detail thingies.
Was there anything in the last week when you were on set where you're just like, what the fuck was that?
Man, all right. Oh, this is one.
No, we're fast.
So it was for a certain company. I'm not going to tell you what company.
Okay.
But this performer is a really good sex performer, but he's one of those, I don't think he gives a shit about the acting part of it at all.
Gotcha.
And he comes into the room, and the girl says, "It's my birthday." And he says, "Oh, happy birthday." He said it like birthday. And then she's reacting, and she's trying to be all sexy, and she's like, "Did you give me anything?" And he just looks at her blank face and says, "No, I did not." So,
I know, guys, to you that may not be as funny, but imagine someone on set and the girl's actually trying to give a performance and the guy's just like...
Yeah. Like, she's going over the top, super porny, like... He's like, "Oh, happy birthday." And now every time it's somebody's birthday, I can't stop saying, "Happy birthday." But also the way he enunciated, "No, I did not." I felt like he had said that line in his life before, because he was the type of guy who was just like very good looking, and I feel like women would be like, "Did you get me anything?"
No, I didn't.
No, I did not. It was just such... That is the one I always go back to, and I know that's probably not like a sexy one that people would want or expect, but
hits deep.
yeah. Just goes back to... What about you? I mean, you've said lines.
No, it's a one that always sticks out to me. Like I always think about is when I say what.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds dumb, but there's every time because there's always I'm like, what? And I always say what. Like I'm always supposed to be surprised. So I've noticed that over the years, it's always stuck in my head, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
And I'll just
you should do a compilation of you
right, just saying what. I'm trying to make an acting reel of all my
just
shittiest.
what.
Yeah,
just different ways you say what.
So
you know the reason for that though?
Because that's no why?
Because so we're trying to get two strangers into having sex as quickly as possible. So there's always the moment. There's the aggressor and the reluctant person. So there's always the surprise moment of like, "Oh, my tit's out," or "I'm grabbing your dick," and you have to be like, in a normal person, you're like, "This is crazy. Like, why is this happening right now?" But we also don't want to have 8 pages of dialogue and scenes that explain this backstory of this push and pull. So that's why you're jumping so quickly into a scene that normally wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
So it's like you write a lot about like, what are you talking about? That's a really, really common line.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the trying to cram a lot of story into as few pages as possible. And so you do a lot of... It's not realistic. I think that also adds to why it's so bad. Because you're trying to do these things that are just insane, which is like a stepmother having sex with her stepson and you're trying to explain that in 2 minutes of dialogue.
Yeah.
Whereas in real life, if that ever did happen, that would take months and years to progress.
Yeah, there's a lot more that would happen, and just we can't give people all of that because no one's gonna watch all that fucking movie. You know?
Right.
It'd be silly.
I mean, if they did, we would love to make it, but nobody's paying for those.
No.
So as soon as you guys start paying for better dialogue, or more production value, then we'll start.
Which
giving you
you're
better
not going
dialogue.
to. No. Very true. All right, let's go to the next one. Line. What's the most overused line in porn?
I would say it's "but I'm your
Oh, yeah.
stepdad," "but I'm your stepdaughter," "but I'm your," which again is another thing like "what," where it's somebody is being the aggressor and the other person is resisting, which is also something that I found interesting about writing porn dialogue or sex dialogue, is that the story is about sex. For it to be a story, there needs to be conflict.
Yeah.
So the conflict is the sex, which means that there has to be one person wanting the sex and the other person reluctant. If two people just want to have sex, that doesn't make for a dynamic story. So that's why all of these scenarios involve somebody being reluctant and the other person, so somebody resisting and the other person pursuing. Which is why you get the cliches of, "What are you doing?" I guess "what are you doing" might be the most common one.
Yeah.
It's like somebody takes their tits out or they start rubbing their dick. It's like, what is happening? What are you doing? Or simply, what?
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 Oh my god, I hate mandolins so much.
I feel like you're about to...
They scare the shit out of
I
me.
know. I'm terrified for you.
Yeah, I've been using these for years. Hate them. Hate them.
We can finish this at the hospital. I can
Yeah,
have Nathan
fuck
with the emergency room.
Just them wrapping my head.
We're doing it while the doctor is. We have a podcast to do, sir.
We're not stopping just because you're sewing me up, fucking bitch. There we go.
Have you ever given yourself stitches?
Like that I've sewn in myself?
Yeah.
No, because usually I'll just super glue them.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not that.
I don't sew. Are you kidding me? I'm a man. I use super glue like a 12-year-old boy putting together a hobby kit.
I super glue and what else do I use?
Tape.
Yeah, duct tape.
Duct tape. Yeah.
I'm not that person. I'm 100% that.
Are you
person.
one of those people? So I never buy Band-Aids. I just have like tape and toilet paper, and then I tape.
Well, see, I'm a little more fancy than that. I use
Medical tape?
No, what is it? Fucking paper towels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You're
paper
right. Because they're the texture they last longer.
Yeah, Bounty.
Bounty.
It soaks up a lot more blood, and if the hole's deep enough, tampon.
That should be the ad for like to get men to buy like Brawny or whatever. It's just like, this soaks up way more blood than our competitor's brand.
There we go.
We're trying to get you some sponsorship.
Trying, man. I'm trying to.
This is horrifying. What is the worst kitchen accident you've had?
Both those scars right there are from me taking that knife and just going straight into my finger. Like, I think a year apart from each other.
So recently, actually at the Grinders feature, I had to leave early to take my good friend to the emergency room because she cut herself trying to cut a mango.
Oh, nice.
She cut right there.
I also sliced my arm all the way over here on the grinder set.
Really?
Yeah.
From trying to do skateboard tricks?
No, from fucking just going through a fence where he's like, go through the fence over there. And I was like, okay. And I had to do it a couple times, and it caught my arm, and went, and I was like, and it was like, as I'm like walking, I'm like, that hurt. And I walk up and start doing the scene, and like through the shirt, you just see the blood, because I was wearing a white beater, and then as I'm walking up, I throw this other shirt on top of, and I like don't even notice it, and I'm talking, and then blood starts going through it, and I only have that one shirt because it's a Boy Scout uniform.
Right.
You know, obviously. Yeah, didn't really get to use that one afterwards. So.
I see. Did they let you keep the Boy Scout uniform?
100%.
Have you used it since
Anything?
then?
No, I haven't really found a good reason to use it. Just
No?
just because I wear it, but it's so fucking hot in California. I don't want to put on an
those
extra
are really
shirt.
hot uniforms.
Yeah, man, it's like, it's a cool shirt. Have it for some fucking reason, but I don't know if I'm ever going to use it, just because I barely like to wear clothes as it is.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
So one time, I was cooking shirtless. I was 8th grade. I was in 8th grade, and I was cooking churros for my Spanish class because we got extra credit. And my parents, they didn't teach me about safety stuff. They were kind of just like, figure it out. You're gonna hurt yourself. It's gonna be fine. So we were doing the. I had the oil going, right? And I was dropping the dough in, and I didn't realize if like little water droplets get into the grease, it's gonna explode.
Oh yeah.
So it exploded all over me, and I was like in pain, and my mom comes over and spits on me to cool it down.
Go on.
So then
you're like, stepmom, what are you doing?
Then we go to the hospital, and then the doctor, he's like, he took me aside, and he wanted to make sure that my parents weren't child abusing me, because he was like, there's no way a child your age should be cooking unsupervised. But the moral of the story is I got extra credit, but she didn't give me more extra credit. She was worried I was gonna sue her though, because I got burned and scarred making churros. So I've always had
Wait, so why'd your mom spit on you?
to cool off the grease, because it's like burning grease that's on you.
No, I got that. You're in a kitchen. Why don't you fucking use the?
No, it's just the first thing that came to her. Just spit on me.
Yeah.
I mean, at least she didn't pee on me, right?
I mean,
It's like, get down! Which, I've heard that whole jellyfish thing is a lie.
yeah, I've heard that too.
But I wonder how many people have done it.
I've done it. We were at the beach a long time ago, and there was like we're out in the water, fucking like I'm not sure what a horde. What's a bunch of jellyfish called?
A jiggle?
Is it
A jiggle of
a
jellyfish?
jiggle of jellyfish came in.
I really hope that.
Yeah, I doubt that's what it's called, but a
100% it's a jiggle.
jiggle of jellyfish, and dude, I got stung all over, and then we spent the rest of the day hunting the jellyfish down.
For vengeance.
Yeah, and so I ended up just pulling out with fucking hundreds jellyfish and leaving them on the shore in a giant pile of jelly.
As you should.
Like that's gonna teach him a lesson. I was young. I was young. Thought I could show them what's what. Maybe put them on a crucifixion or something. If it worked for the Roman Empire, you know.
It's jellyfish. The jellyfish remember that too. They tell folk stories about the man who killed all of theirs, and they're gonna seek vengeance on you one day. They've been waiting for you to go back.
You know what? There was an idea I had for a long time, an oil painting I wanted done of me. Yeah, already really good, right?
Yeah.
And it was basically gonna be me on like on the ocean, and there's like rock formation, and the water just shooting up, and I'm there with a trident like this, long white beard, you know, obviously, and I have like a red like tunic that's just going over past my dick, so you just see all my muscles and like this.
How do you need a tunic? Just have a dick out.
Oh, okay. I wanted this to be family friendly, right? Okay. And I was gonna have a giant jellyfish on a spear, and just, and wanted to get that done. Haven't got it done yet. There's time though.
You know, I was thinking, I like that. I like where you're going with it. What if instead of the robe, you just lower half you're a merman? Because it's even more majestic, and then you don't have to worry about the robe.
And also, we'll bring so many more questions. And also, I'd like to make fun. The idea of this was going to be when you walk into my house.
Right.
Obviously, 2 stairs to go up the side walking doorway. Obviously. And that painting was just on the ceiling, so you had to walk in past this massive painting, and everyone was like, "Is that supposed to be you?" Yeah.
I think if I walked into your house and saw that, I don't think I would question it.
Well, yeah, because
everybody who knows you,
that
would be like, yeah. If I have the kind of money that I could have 2 spiral staircases on the side of each other, I'm gonna have a ridiculous painting like that, and you would too.
Yeah.
Because why the fuck not? I mean, what is money for if not to buy massive oil paintings of ourselves?
Exactly. And, you know, these are the things I've thought about for years, so understand that weirdness didn't come with the job.
Another question for you would be, if you do get ridiculous money one day, what are some other things that you would buy? Not practical things. We're talking like, you know, after you get the house, you get everything settled, you get...
That's a good question. What would I get that's ridiculous? Do I have the money to buy a dinosaur?
Ooh, are you talking about like reanimated dinosaur or like dinosaur bones?
No, like reanimated dinosaur. Like, do we have that kind of money? A buffalo.
You can do buffalo.
Yeah, definitely.
I heard of buffalo.
I heard of buffalo. And I just let them roam around on my property because anybody who came in, the buffalo would just fucking hit and just fling them through the air. That'd be great.
Also, it'd be good for your taxes because you're technically like a farmer at that point, or a rancher.
Right.
It says, what are you cooking?
What am I cooking? That is a great question.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about the food.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff. We are cooking Argentinian food. We're making, what the fuck did I call it?
Chimichurri?
No. That's the sauce. It's a Argentinian street food, very big in all of South America, called charopas. So that's what we're making today, guys. Fuck yeah. How long have we been doing this video so far?
Over 30 minutes.
Shit.
Wow.
Wow.
All of our fans are still watching. They're still with us.
I don't even have fans. That's the weird thing.
Don't worry. I'll bring all mine.
Yeah,
all 3 of them.
Thanks for bringing your fans to my fans.
Do you think your fans they like when you turn around because then they get to see the gold?
You know what? I didn't even think about that, but
I haven't even stood up. I could be just pantsless underneath it.
You could
People
be.
don't even know.
could be.
I like this aesthetic though. You know, an apron, because it's like you're down to party, but you also want to cook.
I do, and that's 100% most of my life.
It's like your superhero outfit.
Yeah, right.
Because you got the spandex. You just really need some sort of mask.
Oh wait, you know what? I'm gonna oil these up a little bit.
Maybe a better question would be, if you could have a superpower, but a stupid superpower. Nothing that's going to save people's lives, but,
Yeah.
you know. So an example would be, and one person I was talking to, they would want theme music to come on anytime they enter a room, which is pretty dumb. Somebody else was short, and they would like to be able to elevate 4 inches just so when they were at concerts, they could see over people's heads.
Porn-wise, I would like to be able to make my dick just a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, so I didn't have to fucking squat in some of these positions.
Your superpower would be
Just
an inch more of dick,
an inch more, an inch less.
or an inch less.
Yeah, honestly,
Either way.
because I'm
Okay.
very happy with what I have size-wise. But just if I could make it just like a little bit here, so I don't have to do this, I'd be pretty happy.
What
But
if-
that's porn-wise, so I'm not sure if I.
What if you just had short legs or legs that could shrink? You know?
No, because that'd make it worse.
You want the okay.
No, I want it just a little bit longer, a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's porn-wise what I
What
want.
about a dick that could shoot like confetti?
No, I know exactly what I want. Don't need the straw. I want every time the cum to come out, I want to be able to pick the noise.
Yes, that's a good one.
Like machine gun. Pa, 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 pa.
Yeah.
Oh, that. And I'll take that as a whole superhero thing, because I'd fucking.
And depending on the scene, because some of them, like let's say you want like a surprise reaction from them, you
Yeah.
could have like a gunshot sound, and they'd be scared, you know.
Yeah.
Or if you want them to be happy, put a smile on their face.
So good. Oh my god, I want that. I want it
do
so
like a
fucking bad. Yeah. And then just like if a girl's pissing me off and I'm like waiting all day. Dun dun.
Don't. I feel like my sound would be one of those old Nintendo games, like when you beat a level.
Oh, my dick doesn't work.
Oh yeah, like you die. It's the sound of Mario
Yeah.
dying.
Mario, no, Luigi. Yeah, so I mean something like that definitely. But for like everyday stuff, maybe sound effects. That'd be kind of cool.
I was thinking sound effects would
Yeah,
be
sound
interesting.
like,
yeah.
but like I would like to be able to control it because I think it'd be like the Midas touch thing after a certain point. Like,
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
you wouldn't want it on all
yeah,
the
I'm
time.
at my grandma's funeral and just like, yeah, it's just something like that. I'm like, fuck. That wouldn't be so great.
Yeah, I had to bring it down with Grandma's funeral.
Yeah, well, you know, gotta talk about real facts.
What
People die.
What do you want people to serve at your funeral?
My head.
I used to want my buddy to sprinkle a little bit of my ashes into like the fajita meat,
Yeah.
just so people were unknowingly eating me. So it'd be
Okay.
like all my friends ingesting me.
Wait,
but I've
you're
heard that's unethical,
Like
even though
who?
it's just ashes.
Alright, so this one is going to, I think this one is Salvadorian. Yeah, it's Salvadorian. This is another one. I love Salvadorian chorizo. It's fucking good.
What's the difference between Salvadorian chorizo and let's say
seasoning?
I see.
I actually haven't had this chorizo, but we're gonna have both. Lots of sausage.
What technically? So chorizo is really just
It's pork and seasoning.
Latin sausage.
It's pork and seasoning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always pork.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I don't think you make a beef chorizo. I don't think.
But if they did, they would call it beef chorizo.
Yeah, you call it beef chorizo. I think standard-wise, it's mostly gonna be pork.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever catered a funeral?
No, would love to. Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
You can cater mine.
Cool.
Just remember to sprinkle a little bit of my ashes in with the fajita meat. Season
Yeah.
it.
See,
Don't tell anybody till after though.
I'm just. Where'd you grow up?
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. Okay, that makes more sense. Why you want fajitas? All right.
You're like, why do you like fajitas so
Yeah, why do you
much?
want fajitas at your funeral?
Tex-Mex, man. Tex-Mex.
Yeah. Makes sense. All right, wait. Back to more of these lovely questions. Overused. Do you watch your own porn?
Is that one for you or for me?
That's for you.
Well,
Wait, no. Do you watch your own porn or that you don't edit?
see, that was actually going to be a thing because I was just editing some of it today and watching it. Man, it's hard because. So when I used to record interviews, when I was interviewing porn people, it was so painful for me to listen to my voice and to listen to those like speech problem or things, the uhs and all those little things that you do.
Yeah.
And with porn, it's the same way. You're not necessarily noticing all of
The weird faces you're making?
you know what I do watch more? I watch my POV porn more because I'm not focusing on the weird faces. Because I'm looking at like, what's my face look like that, or maybe my body isn't as in shape as I want it to be, or you know what I mean. But POV, it's nice because the girl is looking directly at the camera, and then your dick looks so much bigger because the camera is right there.
See, I beg to differ. I find that POV porn, just like VR porn, makes my dick look smaller.
Interesting. I've never done VR, so I don't know.
It's kind of like, it's just like, from this angle,
Uh-huh.
I think your dick looks bigger. From this angle, it's the same thing when I look down at my dick. I'm like, why are you
But you
looking
don't
like
put the
this?
camera right by your dick, and then it's like Godzilla. You know, it's taking over cities.
If I have the GoPro, yeah.
And then you have
I shoved a GoPro in a girl's
have the girl
vagina the other
stand
day.
like 2 feet back, right? And then your dick's as tall as her. Movie magic.
We hit the heavy issues here on Hanging with Nathan, guys.
But do I? So
Oh, yeah,
Also, part of I always think with doing porn, I'm doing it for my younger self and my older self. I'm doing it for my like 14-year-old self to make him happy because I know how proud of me he would be, but also for my older self sitting in like a retirement home, remembering looking back on his life, I can watch my old porn. So I'm really just making this spank bank that I can reference as an old man.
You know, I agree with that. There's a point where I started doing this, and because I always heard from a lot more girls than guys, but they're like, dude, take pictures of yourself when you're young, so you can look at yourself when you're older and like actually enjoy it, you know, and be able to be like, I'm so proud of what I was.
Yeah.
So what I've done. My goal getting into this was, among other things, was like, I want to be able to look back on my life and be like, nice. If I ever have grandchildren, be like, look what your granddaddy did. He tapped all that ass.
You know what's fascinating to think is that
We'd have kids.
we leave a digital legacy.
Yeah, 100%.
And
That porn don't go away.
but in the sense of, think about it like this. When you die, let's say you have kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, great-great-great-grandkids, they're going to be able to look, do their DNA test, look on this digital family tree and find you and be like, my great-great-great-grandfather was a huge porn star in 2020.
Did you just accidentally say corn star?
Corn star.
You watching too much TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok, exactly. But no, I think that's so interesting.
Yeah. That's pretty wild when you think about it that way.
Like because this stuff, I mean, granted there's going to be so much content online, it would be harder to find, but I bet they'll be able to dig it up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yummy.
Nice. But I agree with that getting older thing. That's actually why I didn't start naked art modeling until I was like mid-30s.
Oh yeah, I forgot you started doing that. Solid pictures, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah. But part of the reason, like, I was at Burning Man with my girlfriend, and kept meeting photographers, and I would introduce them to her and be like, hey, if you ever want to take pictures of her. And nobody ever took pictures of me. But then I met this one photographer, and we were actually, it was a strange story. Her and I went to this photo booth tent, and the whole photo booth was like, have sex in front of a photographer. And so that was my first time having sex in front of somebody else while they were taking pictures.
How'd it go?
Okay, not like great, as you'd expect.
Yeah, up and down?
Yeah, but afterwards I was talking to the photographer, I was like, yeah, if you ever want to take a picture of my girlfriend, she was like, I would actually prefer to take pictures of guys. But that's really why I'm doing it, is just like, to remember what I looked like when I was this age, you know what I mean?
Here's the real question there, because for a girl, it's like, hey, you want to take a picture of my boyfriend? The guy's like, I kind of would much rather take a picture of girls. If a girl fucking said to me, if a girl, I'm like, all right, sweet. It's a lot more exciting than if a girl, like, photographer was a little more stoked about filming me. I was like, yay.
No, it's, the best photos of me are taken by women.
Yeah?
And actually recently had 3 or 4 female photographers, and what I've found with the main photographer that I work with is it's a form of her, I don't want to say it's how she has sex, but it's a way of exercising her sexuality because she has control.
Okay.
Who's at the door? It's another surprise.
Go, leave it there, I'm cooking. It's gonna get smoky here in a second. Should we just open that door and open the back door?
Open the window. Yeah.
It's gonna be exciting.
You say that. See this vent here is it's all for show.
Oh, it doesn't actually go up?
It does, but it doesn't. The problem with it, you know. The guy who's working on the house out front put this in here like it fucking does a damn thing.
Just promise me that if there's a fire or the fire department comes, we do not stop rolling.
Oh, we're not. Yes, no, we don't roll.
We don't cut for anything.
Yeah, we don't start rolling to the dialect end.
All of this has been scripted.
Okay.
We're building this relationship so that will eventually lead towards sex. We've been planting little seeds, giving the people really what they want.
This is gonna end in sex, guys. It's gonna be hot. All right. So I'm gonna get these out. These little guys. All right. Next question. Does writing porn scripts ever turn you on? Actually, that's a good question.
You know, it has certain times. Not often. But every once in a while, especially if I'm writing for a specific person. It's very rare, though. But also, with writing porn scripts, a lot of times we don't want to micromanage the sex. Because as you know, when you're filming sex, it's much more natural if you just shoot the sex. But if you're doing a specific scene, like an ad scene, where you need those key shots, the sex is very micromanaged, it's very up and down, it's really, really hard on performers. So you're not getting like a natural, passionate scene. So a lot of the scripts that I've written, we're trying to get those more passionate scenes. So we don't really, I'm not writing and blocking out the sex scene. So I'm writing all the dialogue that's leading up to the sex. And then you kind of just let the sex happen. There are kind of key moments or things that will be said during sex, and sometimes I'll write those, but for the most part, most of the directors that I write for don't want me to give the actors a bunch of dialogue that they're supposed to remember during the sex, or things that happen.
It's a little harder to remember kind of stuff when you're already just trying to work on the boner.
Or like dialogue that's supposed to happen right after the sex scene.
Yeah.
And people are just come drunk and they're like, what am I supposed to say now? So, but no, I definitely actually have been turned on, and I've been turned on reading messages from women sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting. Here's a fascinating thing. So, I don't know if you ever worked on a gay set. You probably have.
Nick Fit asked me to be on a workout. No, just work out in the background.
Okay. So, a lot of times in gay scenes, one of the performers is straight, whatever. A lot of times there's just not as much chemistry as there is in a straight scene. And so they'll take breaks to get hard between each little scenario.
Yeah.
Most guys, what happens is they'll cut and they'll look at porn on their phone. There's one performer. He pulls up his phone and he is reading erotica, and that is what's getting his heart. And usually, erotica is mostly for women that are reading it. That's like the majority of the audience. But there are a few guys that get turned on reading. Jeez.
Yeah.
Woo! That spice is just giving the lungs.
Yeah. Hey, you shoot that fan out of those. Yeah, this is we're gonna get a big old vent in there pretty soon.
Nice.
Because this is this has happened the last couple times. It's like what can I do? You know?
Getting carbon monoxide poisoning with Nathan.
Oh no, it's not carbon monoxide. It's sausages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, all the fans. It's. I gotta say, it's a little bit nicer doing this when it's not a girl I have to fuck afterwards.
Yeah.
Because
takes the stress off.
Well, I'm not worried that she's gonna be mad when I'm about to fuck her afterwards.
We're not having sex after this?
I mean, don't worry about it.
I thought we were shooting content. I thought that was the whole thing. We come hang out, and then we bang.
Hey, we could be.
Are we not doing one of those side-by-side jack-off scenes?
We are. Oh, shit.
Have you done one of those?
I did one with a guy a while back because the whole day was...
Oh, you told me about that, yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking weird.
Do you make eye contact?
No. I didn't make eye contact once.
Would that have killed your boner?
No, I just, I don't know what the fuck to... I was just awkward for the sake of I don't know what the fuck to do.
Okay, here's a question. So you've been on set where you're shooting either group sex or a boy-boy-girl scene. Yeah. Multiple guys, one girl. When you're jacking off to get your edge between cuts or whatever, is there certain etiquette? Like, do you catch yourself, like you glance down at a guy's dick to see what he's doing?
No. Anytime I've done...
Or do you have any stories from that of like, you noticed the guy was looking at your dick more than you probably should? Because sometimes it's not even sexual. Sometimes it's just they're sizing you up.
I've never seen a guy actually look down like that. I have seen guys, like we just stare off into the distance.
Yeah.
I've stared at fucking, a ceiling fan and was just like a, and it got erect. I was like, wow, that's interesting.
Ceiling fans do it for you.
Yeah, well, it's like, it's just because you're trying not to look around, you know? But then again, when it's the director, I'll sit there and talk to the director just jerking off the whole time, so.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's,
So is it more courteous to them, do you think? Like, you don't want to throw them off?
yeah, I try my best not to throw anyone off.
Yeah.
Even though I've had guys try to throw me off.
Oh, tell us about that. You know, because we're not going to know who it was, but tell us what they did.
I've had guys in gangbangs, literally, like, it's like your turn to get up there and do it. And I'm just in here just to do the job and fuck out. And these guys will push you out of the way.
Yeah.
And get in there. I've had,
do you think that is
guys
intentionally trying to throw you off, or just because they're selfish and they want to be in there?
both. I think it's a little bit of both things, yeah. But also, I've had guys, like, in a gangbang, you're up top, you're doing a DP, your dick falls off, touch their leg, and they start screaming at you.
Really?
I've had one guy who was being anchored, and this wasn't to me, there was another guy on set, but he yelled at all of us. He was anchoring, and then the guy that was on top, I guess, was pushing on the girl a little too much, hurting the guy's arms or wrist, and this guy got up and started screaming at us, about telling us about his carpal tunnels because of this. Don't lean on her, you want to fuck her, go fuck her at home, not here. You just get your dick up and do the job, so.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I know, and he won't think I'm throwing him under the bus, but I know Derek Pierce says he hazes guys if you're new and you're doing like a group scene.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I think he got shit when he was coming in, so he feels like, yeah, if you want to make it in this business, like, earn my respect kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It is.
Derek would definitely do that.
Gangbangs are an interesting dynamic. I was on set for my first one recently, and with this one particularly, there was one guy, and you may know who I'm talking about, but I think he saw himself as the alpha male.
Yeah.
And he almost took over as director.
Oh. No.
And he had to, like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. In some ways, maybe the scene needed it. Maybe there needed to be somebody who took, initiative. But it also felt like a posturing thing. Like, he wanted to show that he was the alpha in the group. But what I took away from that scene was the other performers in that scene. I was actually impressed by them because they didn't take offense, and it didn't hurt their ego. It didn't hurt them at all.
Yeah.
Have you been in a situation like that, and how do you react?
Oh, 100%. I've been there many a times, and it's honestly all depends on the day.
Yeah.
Some days I do way better than others. Some days I don't. It just fucking depends.
So there are guys who it's like a competition. Like they want to show.
Yeah, they want to show
they're
their cheese
Right.
You know, and it's like you just kind of gotta do it the best way you can. I know there's plenty of times where I'm just in there. Like I haven't done one in a while because I was so sick of this shit.
Yeah. And you're at the level you don't really have to.
Yeah, it's like if I'm doing a scene, like a multiple guy scene, I want to do just people I know, people I like.
Yeah, trust
Yeah.
you can work with.
Yeah, because that's like, dude, I don't want to have to deal with you thinking you're the bad guy or like trying to be the badass here. It's
Yeah.
like, I just want to get paid and get the fuck out because I don't want to do it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like if I want to do a gangbanger like that, I'm gonna do it at home.
Right.
So, a little bit of differences.
So I was thinking about this earlier today, and I think there's this idea that women prefer the alpha males. Like I feel like there's this whole cult of like you need to be the big dog. And what I don't know if it's just porn when women have slept with so many different guys
Yeah.
that their taste in guys changes.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, some of the biggest female stars in this industry are dating some of the nicest, meekest, non-alpha male guys that you would ever suspect.
Yeah.
And I almost think it's this illusion that a lot of guys think you need to be this certain way to impress women, but I think a lot of women almost prefer the nicer, quieter guys. I think the big problem is this. Alpha males are just more likely to go talk to women.
Yeah.
Whereas the shyer guys, if they could just learn to approach women, I think they would be preferred by a lot of women.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's definitely a. Sorry. I think that's definitely a thing that happens because smoke. It's good, right?
It was really good.
Yeah. Just. I think it's like you said. It's just a matter of the guy going up there and actually talking to him. You know,
Right.
seeing be like, "Hey, you like?"
Yeah.
A lot of guys, they're just normal, won't do that.
Yeah. Because there's the idea like guys always say women prefer dicks. They don't prefer dicks. It's just dicks are much better at approaching women in number, in mass.
Like, I used to have my old chef boss used to tell me, he's like, "Here's the problem with you, man. You are the type of guy that the girls want because they think you're the bad boy, but the parents end up liking you."
Yeah, I can see that.
And
Wait, why is that a problem?
because then the girls don't want you.
Oh, because
They want you. Yeah, because they want you to be a bad boy. So it's like
it's like false branding.
Yeah. And I went through a lot of girlfriends who I think wanted that.
Right.
And I was like, no, whatever.
Yeah.
This job doesn't help at all, but
Yeah, man. I meet a lot of women who I think I'm a pretty nice guy. I come off as pretty meek in a lot of ways, and I think they don't expect me to date around.
yeah.
So what will happen is in this industry, I'll be hanging out with somebody, and when I'm with them, I give them my undivided attention. But when I'm not with them, I assume they're hanging out with other people.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing the same. But then they get really surprised when they find out that I am also hanging out with other people. So it's almost like I'm shooting myself in the foot because I'm not coming off more. Like, it's almost like I'm giving them too much attention
Yeah, I can see
when
that.
we're one-on-one.
Yeah.
And I almost need to be more upfront about the fact that, like, we're not exclusive, or I'm...
One of the things I've learned about this job is I have to be 100% like transparent. Not only 100% transparent, I have to explain overly
Yes.
how I work.
Recently, I remember that this girl got mad at me because she said, "You don't have to keep telling me that we wouldn't work out as a couple." Or something. I'm like, I know. I want to make sure we're on the same page here, that we're not going down that road.
It's true, man. How you doing back there, buddy?
That smoke you can do?
You wanna take a quick break? Quick commercial break, or are you good?
He's like, I don't cut. I don't cut ever.
You don't have to. Hey, there's a long kind of like air fan back there that should be in the back corner. Grab that and stick it over there. Downside, these things aren't that thick to get like a nice pink inside, so sorry about that. But it's all going to be very good. That chimichurri is delicious.
I like my food like I like.
Dude, that's
my
a
women.
heater, bro. I don't think you're gonna want that one.
Heating it up in here, smoking hot.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants us to sweat. Get a little glisten going.
Sweat, baby, sweat. Oh, that's a great one. Have you ever gotten a boner while being a PA?
Oh. So this is very rare, very, very rare, but every once in a while, sometimes like I've been flirting with a girl, or she's told me beforehand like she's gonna keep glancing at me during the scene.
Oh, that'd give me a boner.
Yeah, so sometimes it's just like, there's a certain vibe and it's really hard to explain where it's like, yeah, this is sort of hot. And there are other times like, I think there's been times I've been on set where I'm holding the camera when I know that she's more into me than the guy she's shooting with.
Yeah.
And I'll be holding the camera and she'll be looking into the camera and I don't know, there's just certain chemistry and certain connections, but I've never had like a full-on just rager. It's more like a half chub.
Yeah, I get you, half chub.
Yeah.
I totally understand that, bro.
Have you ever gotten a boner in a scene where you're not supposed to have a boner? Like, let's say, like leading up to the sex?
Yeah, I'll explain. So I got hit to do a scene. This was when I think it was like 4 years ago. I was still looking like getting all these big roles. And they're like, hey, it's not a cuck scene, which means it's a fucking cuck scene. But basically what I was going to do...
it's not a cuck scene.
Bella Rowland, she's my wife, and I was going to give her to the very prestigious Steve Holmes as an escort. And I was like, baby, we've been going hot and heavy.
Right.
Here's Steve Holmes, an old German man, who I think will really, spice up our love life.
Right.
And I thought that was gonna be it. I was gonna leave, and they're like, "Oh no!" Like sitting there on the bed and like caress her. I'm like, "All right." But me and Bella are like looking at each other's eyes, and I'm like, "Are we about to fuck?" I'm like, "I can't kiss you because that's gonna take this down a way different road," and I'm like, "I can't do it." But like any other world, me and Steve would have been just banging around together, you know?
Right.
Like not like Steve's gonna give a fuck, you know?
Yeah, he didn't care at all.
So
yes, the more the better.
Yeah.
Please join.
Can we just talk for 1 second about how amazing and creepy his dialogue is all the time?
Oh, so one of my favorite scripts, well, not my favorite script, just my favorite part was with Steve Holmes. So he was playing the stepdad, or it was an exchange program. It was like these daughters went, they swapped houses, like a house swap situation. So one daughter went to stay with her friend's dad and vice versa. So he tells her not to like explore the house, and she goes downstairs and finds a dungeon.
Okay. Love it, love it.
And she's like, why do you have this down here? And he's like, keep in mind he's German. He's like, oh, it was my grandparents. They used it to house refugees during the war. She's like, well, why is it a dungeon? And nobody got it. But to me, it was the greatest thing ever. Because he has this thick German accent. And I don't even think he realized.
Yeah, he probably didn't think about those two things together, but...
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
It's just like somebody trying to cover up their Nazi past.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But interestingly enough, in the BDSM community, a lot of people wear like Nazi-esque uniforms.
Yeah.
They just have like a Mickey Mouse insignia because of the whole
You know
domination.
what? Hey,
and-
we can, as much as we want to look back on that past, and definitely terrible things happen.
yeah.
Hugo Boss did design their fucking clothes, and they did look kind of good. That's maybe not a popular opinion, but
Well, the Nazis came up with the Volkswagen, I think, right?
Yeah.
Is that a Nazi car?
yeah, Volkswagen. What was it? Porsche? No, was it Porsche or Porsche? I think did the Panzer tank.
Oh, okay.
I think they made the motor for that.
You know what's a weird ethical dilemma? So, we as a society have had a lot of advancements because of animal testing.
Yeah.
Like with medicine, all of these things. But it is this gray area because it's like you're making
Hey! Hey! Get the fuck face!
the dogs are like, oh, we don't like animal testing.
Yeah.
But it's also like, so we've developed this science based around animal testing, and you don't want to throw out the science that, even if it's derived from terrible means.
Oh yeah.
But the same happened with so much research came out of like concentration camps
Oh, yeah.
and Nazis doing terrible, terrible unethical experimentations on human subjects.
Like what happens when bleach is injected into your skin.
Yeah, just like the worst stuff imaginable, but it's crazy how things were learned. I guess also it would be really terrible if that awful experience happened and we didn't learn things from it.
Yeah.
Like I'm still really, really curious to see the science that comes out of COVID.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and what happened, mental health, and what happened when people weren't outside all the time, and social structures, and how our society changed. I'm going to be really fascinated to find that out. We got 2 different types of meat here.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Not forget about these.
It's like a meat bonanza.
Honestly, the other option, because you were saying you didn't want to have carbs, was going to be just doing an actual like big platter of fucking Argentinian meat, which is like they do that. They like beef down there. So it was going to be that too.
Sort of like a Brazilian steakhouse, but Argentinian.
Yeah. Do this.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. No. Yes. There we go. See? It's almost going away. Good stuff.
That was our mood fog.
Oh. That's a lovely one. Have you ever been sprayed by fluids
Oh.
as a PA? Now, I know, me personally, I have almost hit like 3 camera guys. Oh!
I have definitely. So I also clean up bodily fluids, and I've definitely like gone to wipe up and got it on my hands. There's another time I was barefoot and filming, and I stepped in some cum for sure. I think I've been hit by squirt or fake squirt.
I am.
Definitely been hit by fake squirt. I don't think I've been just straight up ejaculated on though. But I don't know.
The day's still young.
Yeah,
Day's still young.
we gotta shoot that weird content later. We don't know what's gonna happen.
I know. Who's bottom, who's top?
Friendly fire
Yeah.
situation.
Oh, what a great name for a fucking movie. Friendly Fire. Oh.
Fratricide.
First it seems the girls never came. We're just sitting there like,
It's just us waiting like we're gonna
Yeah.
shoot.
you ready, bro?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm so fucking jacked for
sweet
this.
scene, bro.
And we just sit for like 50 minutes. I'm getting really hard.
Yeah,
I think I'm
man.
gonna come soon.
Who's the girl that? Oh, I forgot. Fuck.
Yeah, she's so hot, man. Here's pictures of her. If yeah, that would make a brilliant scene. Maybe there could be a whole series. It's just, you know how the whole stereotype of straight guys, they trick them into doing gay porn.
Oh
They
yeah.
just be like, yeah, you want to be a male performer? Come over. Like, we can bang this girl out and just,
Dude,
all right, get your edge.
It's funny. I've actually heard that story a lot more often than I would like to think about.
Mhm.
Like, but in reality, like that's happened multiple
Oh, it's
times.
happened. I know one performer who was like, yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. But, yeah, strange world.
Yeah, it's like those tricky gays. Those tricky gays.
I mean, to be fair, if you can get hard and be a good gay performer and you're not gay, you could definitely do straight porn.
Yeah.
Like if you're, yeah.
Because then you could deal. Then you deal with. You can deal with the catty guys on those sets. You can deal with the fucking cunts and bitches.
Yeah, 100. So I mean, in a way, it is a good proving ground, and there have been a lot of great straight performers that come out of the gay side.
Yeah, true. I just seem to remember a lot of these girls are very, sometimes not the nicest towards that idea, you know?
Yeah, interestingly enough, going back to scripts, so I wrote a few gay scripts, and every single scenario involved a straight man who, it was like college roommates or somebody who wasn't gay, and that was where the conflict of those stories happened. And I think maybe partially because if it's two gay men, they're just like, yeah, we're gonna fuck. There's no conflict.
Yeah.
Of course we're gonna fuck.
Yeah.
So the conflict was always like, maybe somebody who was a little curious or just straight, and like, the common line in that was like, come on, we're just guys. Nobody's gonna know.
Yeah. Come on, bro, we're just growing out.
So I also think probably in the same way you want certain porn to be real, like the casting couch thing, you want it to be real. I think a lot of gay viewers want the fantasy of the straight casting couch to be a real thing, where the guy comes in to interview for a straight scene but has to do a gay scene.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
It's looking good. It's hard not to just like grab shit and start eating it.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, because the fries are not done yet. Yeah, the next one. What's the longest you've ever been on set, performing or otherwise?
I've done a lot of 12-hour days.
Yeah.
Probably 14 to 16. You've probably been on set longer than that, haven't you?
I was just on Seth Gamble's set from 10 to 3 the other day.
Yeah. I keep hearing about those sets.
Yeah. That was a long one. The longest I've had to do like an actual scene. I remember when we did a kink gangbang that was like, it was like 8 or 9 hours, which doesn't sound like a lot, but we were literally trying to fuck the whole time. It was like fucking horrible.
Dude, I don't know how you do that.
Dude, that was I stopped. I don't want to do it anymore. That's just
it
just fucking sucks to do it.
Yeah, the thing about working behind the scenes is we have to be there we're the first people there and the last people to leave. So sometimes you guys will have a really short day.
Yeah.
But no matter what, we're there the entire day. But obviously, like, the strain of having to fuck for 8 hours is a lot harder than my day.
It's not the greatest.
Yeah, that can be very frustrating is when people will be on set for half the time that I'm there, making triple, quadruple the rate that I'm making, and they're complaining. Yeah. Or they're showing up, late and complaining about how early they have to be there, and I'm just like, I do not want to hear it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a little bit more of an irritating thing to hear.
Yeah. But also, I don't know, it gives you a lot of perspective, because I'm happy, I make good money, I've had a lot of shitty jobs. I think a lot of problem with certain performers is they've never had shitty jobs.
Oh yeah.
And they just spend their money like crazy, and they don't realize how lucky they are to be performers, and one day it's going to come bite them in the ass.
Yeah, that is a huge issue I see with a lot of new performers. I mean, to a point, even like I've had a problem with that. It's like because there'd be times where I get a lot of work and then it was gone. Then I get a lot of work, then it was gone. And all of a sudden, after quarantine, there's a lot of fucking work.
Right.
And it didn't stop. And so it kind of hit this point where I was like, oh, I haven't really got to save as much as I wanted to, And so that's been an issue, but I'm like working on it now. But like, also I didn't. It's not like I squandered like 9 years. It's like I squandered like a year and a half where I just ended up buying I paid for this whole backyard.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff for the show. So I mean, it is future stuff.
Yeah. And then of course, as you know, the people that are making all this money, and then they don't pay taxes for 2 or 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times the IRS comes knocking after they're out of the industry. And they're like, you owe us enough money to buy a house.
Yeah.
And they're like, I do not have that money anymore. And the IRS says, we do not care.
Yeah, we're going to get our fucking money.
Yeah. My dad was an IRS accountant,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing about those people is they have a really high sense of justice, and they make okay money. They don't make crazy money, but their sole joy in life is to make people who are making more money than them pay.
That
It's like their vengeance. They give no fucks. You cannot bribe these people. It's just,
Can we all just take a second and think about how scary that is?
yeah. And what's so scary too is, I don't know, just people in porn that just don't think there's going to be any repercussions. And it may take a while, but the IRS will come for you. There's a reason that saying exists. The only thing for certain in this life is death and taxes. This is my PSA announcement to do your taxes. Especially if you're thinking about getting into porn.
Do the taxes, guys.
Do your taxes. You can get a really good accountant. What was one of the most surprising things to you about, maybe hard things about porn that you didn't expect?
I think I thought a lot more girls were gonna like me.
Which is odd because you were one of the most requested male performers. When I know like everybody likes different types of people, but literally you're on the most people's yes list that I know of.
And I think it's literally just because it's like you get to this point where you're like, you come to the job, you think people. I'm like, I've made a living off of just trying to make people enjoy being around me because I don't tell them how fucking terrible they are.
Right.
But I expected it to be a little bit nicer and a lot more people that actually enjoy, and I thought I was going to have a lot more fun sex and not just so much just straight hardcore work sex and
right. You know, though I've seen you on set, and I've probably seen you with people that you don't necessarily want to work with.
Yeah.
But I think I can only think of one time when I knew it was going to be hard for you and it wasn't going to be an enjoyable day, which I think is a testament to you, is even if it's somebody you don't necessarily have great chemistry with,
Yeah.
you make it seem like you have good chemistry. Is that just to help you out? Or make the day go smoother?
It's, you know what? It's because I want the day to go good for you guys. I want the day to go good for everyone there.
Thanks, sir.
And I just like, because it's like I'm not here just for me. I'm here for the crew. It's like I know what the weird part is when I'm trying to flirt with a girl or whatnot, and the crew kind of gets antsy and bitchy about it to me, and I'm like, guys, you gotta understand, this is also not just for me. It's trying
to make your day easier.
Yeah, we're trying to make this day go good, you know.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of those things that go into that, and I've had directors give me shit for that too. And I'm like, dude, it's like we're trying to make everything go smoothly. Why do you want to give me shit right now?
What are... I know one of them, and I remember one scene specifically, but what are some things that a girl can do that you immediately like, oh, this day is gonna suck?
Tell me your horoscope.
See,
no, that's not gonna make my day horrible. It's just I think it's
Right.
fucking stupid.
I agree with that completely. Is I don't believe. So I used to be religious,
Yeah.
and I grew up religious, and I got away from religion, and so now I don't believe anything that doesn't have science behind it. It doesn't have like good rational thought, and
Yeah.
I can't get behind astrology, and people try to get me into it. I just cannot. And I know I probably lost out on hooking up with girls because I just refuse to believe in astrology.
You know, it's funny. I've actually said to, and you may have heard me say this before, but I've told girls, they're like, what's your sign? I'm like, I don't know, because I don't believe in a fake religion.
Yeah. I said recently I'm not superstitious. I'm trying to think of better ways. Like, we should think of what is a funny sign, like a stop sign. Like, I really like the stop sign.
But actually,
I really like slow kids at play.
You know what's funny? I actually was telling my lady about this the other day, and she's like, she was talking about signs. I was like, you know what I'm going to start doing? Every time, that's what it is. Every time I have a bad day or something goes wrong, or like something, like let's say like the girl like does something wrong, like maybe she didn't clean out enough during anal, I'm like, oh, wait, what's your sign?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because it's Tuesday. Of course that's why it happened. Oh my God.
Well, my big thing is, I always think, okay, would you allow a judge to, if you're in court and let's say you're being tried for murder, if the prosecution was like, Well, clearly they're a Leo, and this is something a Leo would do. Like, would that in any way fly?
No.
And then the other thing is, like, if I was talking to somebody about this, and astrology, it's not predictive.
Yeah.
Like, it can't predict. And so for me, what is the use of the system of knowledge if it can't predict? Because in science, this whole scientific method is you come up with a theory, and the way you test the theory is, can you predict the behavior of, like, how the planets circulate or how things behave? You can't do any of that with astrology. It's just a system, a way of talking about who you are and how you identify. The one good thing, my roommate is really into astrology, and what I will give him is, it is a way of having deeper conversations about you and your personality and how you interact with your world.
Yes.
And you can use astrology as a starting point.
And not only that, but he actually has, I mean, like, one of the things we have to find out about on set is we have to think on our feet real fast. Some of the time, we don't have enough time to actually talk to these girls and get to know them. And if you need that, that's something we need, you know?
Yeah, he needs to have that bonding moment.
Yeah,
so it allows some intimacy.
Yeah, and so I completely understand whether or not I talk shit on him because of that. It's like, that's not the case. I understand it 100% of the time.
What are your ways of building intimacy quickly?
Giving them knowledge about me to kind of open them up, thinking it's a deeper thought process, maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, like, do you have an example of giving them knowledge about you? Like, what you do, what you do?
Yeah, like, what do you like, what do you not like? Oh, this is what I like, and talk about that. But also, I've been finding out, and, like, maybe it's like, if I've been working a bunch, I just don't care. It just all goes out the goddamn window, man, when I work every day.
Are there some scenes you do better when you're just, like, you're not there and you're like, fuck this?
When I'm tired?
Yeah, almost like not revenge sex, like breakup sex where you're like, fuck this person. And then you do a good scene because you're like, fuck this scene.
Yes, but I still have to trust the person. No, like, I have a hard time with just, like, breakup sex kind of idea because I'm always so worried the girl's going to freak out.
Oh, yeah. You gotta be worried about that.
Yeah, and it's like, I know some guys are like, oh, no, man, I love it like this. I'm like, I don't, dude, because I'm still worried the girl's going to fucking do something and, like, say something and she won't say it then, but she'll say it later, so I'm always worried, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if they're really into aggressive sex.
Yeah, it's like, dude,
I've when he hit me, I was like, you told me to hit you.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. So it definitely becomes a issue where it's like, I like aggressive sex. Do I do it that often? Nope.
Yeah, especially with somebody we know, we both have mutual, we both slept with. She is really into getting the shit beat out of her.
Yep.
She was like, would you be interested in doing, what was it, consensual non-consent stuff? And I'm like, I would, but I really have to know and trust you. Because not only is it a matter of them trusting you to know their limits, it's a matter of me trusting you to know you're not going to go online and be like,
yep,
you know, he was rough and all this stuff, even though that's what you wanted.
Yeah. And that's the problem with that.
Yeah. This is looking good. You've cornered the market on the porn cooking podcast. Is there anyone else trying to do what you're doing?
No. Because I've cornered the market in a handful of things. I'm the only stunt guy and the only... Well, I don't think I'm the only chef, but I'm the only one who's doing this.
I thought there was a porn woman who got out of porn and she's doing stunts. Katsumi or something?
Maybe. Did she ever really get out? Or is she just going to wait a little bit before she comes back?
I don't know. I think she's been out for a while.
All right, let's dig in on this.
I don't even know where to start.
Well, I'm going to start here with the sandwich. Oh.
I'm glad I let you decide what to cook. It's fucking delicious. You know what I'm going to start? I'm going to start a porn baking podcast.
Do it.
Just to troll you. I'm going to constantly reference that other porn cooking show. We'll make people sign exclusive contracts.
I'll get to them first.
This is fucking good, man. It's almost like you have experience.
Allegedly.
Is this why women keep wanting to date you?
No, it's just I'm nice to them. It's amazing how other people in this business make it so much easier for people to like me just because I'm nice.
100%. It's like you're nice to somebody and you're relatively attractive, then you're like blown away.
That's not even trying to be like a weird thing. I'm literally just trying to be nice to people because I want to treat them like a fucking human.
Right.
And all of a sudden people like me.
You know, and that's another compliment that I'll give you is I know women who so in this industry it's very small. I know how people DM. I know how people slide into DMs and who's sending the same mass text to a lot of women, what they're saying in the DMs. Nathan, he literally will just want to hang out with people. Like, just to be nice.
Oh.
He's not trying to, like, sure, he'll be like, you want to shoot content sometimes, but he literally just wants to hang out with people. And that in itself blows a lot of women's mind.
I just want a buddy. Well, that was also the point of the show.
Yeah.
I want to get to know you more than just the person I'm trying to fuck right now.
Even though you're still trying to fuck.
Well, anyway. Let them know who you are, where they can find you, all this stuff, because I want to eat this food.
I'm Shawn Alff, and just go to ShawnAlff.com, ShawnAlff.com, and it has all of my links there. It's got my OnlyFans, my Sex Panther, mini vids, my Pornhub, my Instagram, my Twitter, or if you just go to any social media, it's just my name, at my name, so at Shawn Alff, ShawnAlff.
Fucking A. Hey guys, here's another episode of Hanging with Nathan. I hope you like the backdrop. We just we did that new location, obviously. Tell us what you guys want to see next and what people. I will see if I can get them on. Probably not. But you know, just keep asking. We'll see what we're doing.
And what do you think of our new wardrobe? Tell us.
Oh yeah, is this
something you want to continue?
Yeah, or is it not? Who knows? But like, subscribe, follow. Puddles is going to be doing a cleanup job, so I'll talk to y'all there. Bye.